Shabbat Shalom and welcome everybody. What a hot week we've had here in Kansas City. I hope you're staying hydrated wherever you are.
Grateful for the brave souls who came out in the heat.
Thank you for joining us. And for those of you joining us in person, for the extremes, the streaming has been great. Too hot, too cold, you can still join us.
Just right.
Just right. You know, when I was listening to the words from Dodi Lee, it's all about like the desert and all that. And I'm like, how appropriate it'd be.
Yeah.
You know, Song of Songs, she's, you know, wander around the desert and all that.
Probably is cooler.
Yes. You know, in the desert, it does cool down in the evening.
Yeah. Lack of humidity.
Right.
For one
But
thing.
today I checked the humidity was only 30%.
Nice.
So it was 102, 103, but it was dry heat. I know I'm trying to rationalize all the possibilities.
No.
The team says no. Well, I'm Rabbi Javier Catapan, and I'm joined by Leslie Zucker and our wonderful musicians team over here. And our technical team, as always, a big thank you for bringing us beyond our walls, our BOW committee. If you're interested in joining the BOW committee, so you can help others join us when the weather is not perfect, please let us know. We'll get you in touch with all of them. And we have high holidays coming up very soon, so we also need some help there, so let us know. If you're joining us here in person, for those of you who are, you are joining us here in person, make sure that your electronic devices are turned off. This Shabbat, again, is the second Shabbat that we use Mishkan Halev, the special Sidur for the month of Elul, and it is golden. So if you have a golden book in your hands, kind of thing, you have the right prayer book. We invite you to join us on page number 6. So we read together Elul, an island in the year. Before we slip too quickly into the season of the soul, let there be a Sabbath of Sabbath for the heart. Before the music of creation's majesty, let there be a silent praise of existence. Before the feast of sanctified words, let there be a poetry of solitude. Before we enter the palaces of prayer, let us find within ourselves a place of calm. Before we revel in the wondrous and sublime, let there be an honest inward gaze. Before the rites and ceremonies of awe, let there be quieter days, an island of attentiveness. So we gather this Friday evening to welcome Shabbat together at home. If you have candles, we invite you to light them and join us on page number 10 as we welcome Shabbat together.
Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu melech haolam, asher kitshanu b'mitzvotav, v'tzivanu lehadlik ner, shel Shabbat.
Shabbat Shalom, everybody. It's great to have you with us in person and virtually to welcome Shabbat together. We turn now to page 21, in the middle of the page. Two angels follow me home, chesed and gvura, kindness and judgment, love and discipline may both dwell within me, gentleness and generosity that expand my soul, firmness and self-restraint, the strength to say no. On this day of Shalom, may I be Shalem, well-balanced and whole. The Chadodi is on page 22, and we sing all the stanzas. Shabbat nekabela.
Shamor bezacha b'dibur echad, b'shmi'at ilham yuchad. Adonai echad u'shemo echad, Hashem u'tiferet v'nitzila.
Echad odi yai dai 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 Likrat kala yai dai 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 B'nei Shabbat nekabela. Likrat Shabbat lechu v'nelcha ki mekor haberacha merosh mikedem nesucha sof maaseh b'machshava tchila echad odi yai dai 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 likrat kala yai lai 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 b'nei Shabbat nekabela. Hitoreri, hitoreri, ki vahoret kumni ori, 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 shir daveri, kvod Adonai alaych nigla. Echad odi yai dai 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 likrat kala yai dai 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 b'nei Shabbat nekabela.
Bo'im v'shalom atzeret bara, gam b'simcha ובצהרה תחם עלי עד סגולה. בואיך בואיך
Echad odi yai dai 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 likrat kala yai dai 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 b'nei Shabbat nekabela. Baruch Adonai המבורך לעולם ועד. We continue together in the middle of page 29. Holy is twilight, the realm of in-between. And so our sages taught, pray in the moments when light and darkness touch. We are all twilight people, beyond categories and labels. May the sacred in-between of this evening suspend our certainties, soften our judgment, widen our vision. Let it illumine our way to the God who transcends all boundaries and definitions. Blessed are you, God of all, who brings on the twilight. Open up our eyes, teach us how to live, fill our hearts with joy and all the love you have to give. Gather us in peace as you lead us to your name, and we will know
Shem, Kevod Malchuto, Leolam Vaed.
You may be seated. Page 35, we join together in Ve'ahavta for Elul. You shall love the ones who are close with all your heart, with all your spirit, with all your strength. Remember these words, inscribe them on your heart, love them when they struggle, when they sadden and disappoint you, love them when they fail. See the good within them, even when they can't. Look at them and listen, even when it's hard. Be grateful for their guidance, even their reproof, when they save you from yourself. Love them when they give you joy, and love them when they don't. When you lie down, let go of anger. When you rise up at dawn, begin again. Praise them for their deeds at home. Speak to them in public with respect. Bind yourself to the ones you love with promises kept and vows fulfilled. Open to them the gates of your heart, the doorway of your soul, and let them know you. So shall the ones you cherish feel your love, your presence, and your care. Continue together on page 41, in the middle of the page when Israel went forth from Egypt. We went forth, behind us now the speech of strangers, ahead the freedom to speak our own words and discover the holy. Witnessing this, the great sea fled, the river changed its course, the mountains danced like rams, the hills like sheep. Sea, river, and mountains, what has become of you? Why flee, change course? Why dance like rams and sheep? Stand in awe, all the earth. The God of Jacob turns rock to water, stone to a gushing stream. Life changes course in an instant. Sing from the heart, awaken to life's wonders. Mi kamocha ba'elim Adonai, mi kamocha nedar ba'kodesh, Torah tehilot osef eleh.
Malchutecha, Ahuvadecha, Bokei hayam lifnei Moshe u'Miriam, Tzelianu ve'amehu.
Adonai imloch le'olam va'ed.
ונאמר, כי פדה אדוני את יעקב, וגאלו מיד חזק ממנו. ברוך אתה אדוני, גאל ישראל.
Continue on screen for the next two prayers. Let there be love and understanding among us. Let peace and friendship be our shelter from life's storms. Let there be love and understanding among us. Let peace and friendship be our shelter from life's storms. Hashkiveinu, Adonai Eloheinu. Hashkiveinu, Leshalom. Ahavidenu, Shomreinu lechaim. Ufras aleinu, Sukkah Shabbat Shlomecha Hashkivenu Adonai Eloheinu Hashkivenu Leshalom Let there be love and understanding among us. Let peace and friendship be our shelter from life's storm.
Let there be love.
Let there be love and understanding among us. Let peace and friendship be our shelter from life's storm. Yai dai dai, yai dai dai, yai dai 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 dai, yai dai dai, yai dai 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 dai. Yai dai dai, yai dai dai, yai dai 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 dai, yai dai dai, yai dai 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 dai. The storm has blown the marketplace away. There is a song on the wind and joy in the trees. Shabbat has arrived in the world, scattering a song in the silence of the night, and eternity honors the day. And eternity honors the day. Yai dai dai, yai dai dai, yai dai 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 dai, yai dai dai, yai dai 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 dai. Yai dai dai, yai dai dai, yai dai 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 dai, yai dai dai, yai dai 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 dai. Adonai Sotai Tifetach Ufi Yagil Teilatecha. Adonai Sotai Tifetach Ufi Yagil
Teilatecha. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu Elohei Avotenu v'Imotenu Elohei Abraham Elohei Yitzchak Elohei Yaakov Elohei Sarah Elohei Rivka Elohei Rachel Elohei Leah Ha'el Hagadol Hagibor v'Hanora El Elyon Gomel Chasadim Tovim Mekonei Hakol Bezocher Chasevot v'Imahot Umevi Gula Livnei Bnehem L'man Shemo Be'ahava Melech Ozer U'Moshiach U'Magen Baruch atah Adonai Magen Avraham V'Zrat Sarah Atah Gibor Le'olam Adonai Mechaye Metim Atah Rav L'Hoshia Morid Hatal Mechalkel Chaim Bechesed Mechaye Metim Berachamim Rabim Somech Nofelim Verofech Cholim Umatir Asurim Umekayem Emunato Lishenei Afar Chamocha Bageburot Umidom Melach Melech Memit Umechaye Umatzmiach Yeshua V'neiman Atal HaChayot Metim Baruch atah Adonai Mechaye HaMetim Atah Kadosh V'Shimcha Kadosh U'Kadoshim B'chol Yom Yhalalu Chasela Baruch atah Adonai Ha'el HaKadosh כי אתה הוא מלך אדון, לך השלום.
כי אתה הוא מלך אדון, לכל השלום.
וטוב בעיניך לברך את עמך ישראל
בכל עת ובכל שעה בשלומך.
ברוך את אדוני המברך את עמו ישראל
As we gather on this Shabbat, we turn our thoughts to those in need of healing. Those of you joining us virtually, we invite you to type names on the chat. For those of us here in person, I invite you to share names around. Oh, you said them, sorry. Go ahead.
Elizabeth Raymeyer, Ryan Fillmore.
Jim Applebaum. Thank you. Arian Altman.
I'm ready to see any more here. As we think of all those in need of healing, we join our voices together. Page 77, Mishaberach. May the one who blessed our ancestors bring blessings of strength, compassion, and healing to those of us who struggle with the oppression of addiction, emotional distress, and mental suffering. Surround them with loving kindness, grace, companionship, and peace. It is now time for our Simcha moment. If you have a Simcha from this past week you'd like to share with all of us, we invite you to type it. I'm going to monitor that online. And for those of you here in person, come up to our Simcha mic and tell us who you are and tell us what your Simcha is.
I'm Leslie Zucker, and the Juby Brothers, a little group that I play with sometimes. We played last night at the fundraiser for the JFS, and we didn't embarrass ourselves. It was lovely.
You did great.
We did great. Yeah. Thank you. It was very fun.
I'm Carol, and I have to admit I forgot to set out clothes for Shabbat, so here I am, not quite appropriately dressed. But this song has been going through my head all week. It's called Raindrops Keep Falling on My Head. And just one thing after another happened, but then there's always a way to have it turn out good. So the funniest thing was that when I went out for a walk last night, I was going to go swimming. And I rounded the corner, and it started to rain. And I said, well, I'm not going swimming, but I'm out here, I might as well walk. And as I walked around the block, it started to pour. I just enjoyed it. But I looked up the lyrics, and the funniest thing about it is, raindrops keep falling on my head, just like the man whose feet are too big for his bed.
So here we saw something from online. We have quite a crowd online today. Louise Hipsch, Neil, and Louise are having their 44th wedding anniversary tomorrow. Jim Applebaum says, Jubies. Someone says here that the rabbi has a birthday tomorrow. I don't know anything about it. It's from, it's from last week, so it hasn't happened yet.
Oh, right.
Kidding you, but it's true. It
Blah,
hasn't.
blah, blah. But it's
Alrighty.
tomorrow?
It's tomorrow, yes.
When it happens on Shabbat. Okay, actually, I'm going to take this moment to ask you this question. When your simcha happens on Shabbat,
I would celebrate it next week.
next week, okay.
But maybe
I've
I'm
been
wrong.
wondering this for so many years,
this
and I
is not
never
related, but
remembered to ask.
for your size, though, and Sharon will know this, we go from Sunday until Shabbat.
Okay.
So maybe we should do the same for the Simchas, now that I'm thinking. That will be coherent.
Yes.
Okay, so yeah, I have a birthday tomorrow. Thank you.
Well,
So
I
yeah,
mean,
Shabbat included, so. And happy birthday to Marian Altman, who couldn't be here
Happy birthday,
tonight.
Marian.
I don't know if she's watching. She's a little bit under the weather, so I hope you feel better soon. So as we gather all our simchas, we honor each one of you for the gifts you bring to our sacred community, and we join together in marking this sacred occasion. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam שהחיינו וקיימנו והגיענו לזמן הזה. ברוך אתה אדוני אלוהינו מלך העולם שהחיינו וקיימנו והגיענו לזמן הזה. Many times we've talked about the fact that each Torah portion is special for a reason or another. But in truth, each Torah portion is really unique, and that's how the rabbis envision it. Sometimes you wonder why a certain Torah portion ends where it ends and begins where it begins. I trust there is a reason for that, and a good reason at it. Some, of course, tell a story, whereas others contain endless lists of people, places, sacrifices, animals, you name it. This week's Torah portion, Parashat Ki Tetzeh, which literally means when you set out to war, but we're not going to talk about war today, is about commandments, laws, mitzvot. The great medieval sage Maimonides calculated that this parasha contains more than 10% of all the commandments found in the Torah. That's a lot. There are lots of topics, of course, to cover in just 4 chapters. And I'm going to try to cover as many as possible this evening. No, I'm kidding. Just going to go for one. Many commentators have suggested that we read this parasha as a complement to last week's Torah portion. Last week's Sidra was about judges and the administration of justice, whereas this week's mitzvot turned towards interpersonal relationships, family matters, how to be a good neighbor, just all those good stuff. That portion is about the macro last week. This portion is about the micro. We need justice, of course, but we also need neighborly kindness to build and live in a healthy society. The JPS Jewish Heritage Torah Commentary, something relatively new out there, teaches that, quote, the general theme of the mitzvot in this portion is the expansion of empathy. The text commands us to feel empathy and compassion for a wide range of people. Here, the Torah specifically directs us to feel empathy for people who some might be tempted to ignore or even exploit. Someone accused of a crime, a victim of sexual assault, a prisoner of war, a divorcee, a widow, an orphan, or a customer at our store, end quote. There's no need for the Torah to teach us to show compassion for people that we perceive as part of our group. From the dawn of history, human tendency has been such that naturally we would show empathy to our families, relatives, and friends. Some of those, may annoy us from time to time. Who knows? We're not going to go down there, but we kind of get it. We kind of have to be nice to our families and our friends. Well, our friends we choose. Our relatives, I'm not sure. But I was just thinking about this. It's so different for me than for all of you here, I think, because I don't have anybody. I don't have any relatives close by, and I guess that I get along with everybody because I don't get to see them at all. I thought about that a lot. It's like, you can even consult them to see if he's a nice guy or not. Nobody can talk to them because some of them don't speak English and you'll never meet them. But so I guess, from the distance, and they can't understand this, from the distance, they're all wonderful. So think about that when you think about your relatives. You have them at hand, enjoy them while you can. But, even though we know that, it's not usually that we naturally have a tendency to feel empathy or to be compassionate towards the strangers or towards our enemies. So we need to put in extra effort. Of the many laws in this week's parasha, I want to focus on one. I think it's an important one and a good example of showing empathy and compassion for the stranger. And it is the importance of returning lost property. There are tons of little stories of little kids who find their wallet and, what do you do with it? You return it. That's the Torah. Now, the Torah teaches us that we are morally obligated to return lost property to its rightful owner, and we have to make every effort to do so. And there's a long discussion in the Talmud as to how you go about doing that, which I shall spare you tonight. Now, we find this mitzvah in two places in the Torah. In the Torah portion for this Shabbat, we are taught, quote, if you see your brother's ox or sheep straying, do not ignore it, bring it back to your brother. And earlier in the book of Exodus, we read, quote, if you come across your enemy's ox or donkey wandering away, you must take it back to him. And otherwise mundane commandments, such as returning lost property, teaches us empathy towards others, because when we try to return something they lost, we put ourselves in their position and we feel compassion towards how distressed they may feel. And if you get the two together, you realize that we have to do it for everybody, people that we know, our neighbors, and the stranger, or even our enemies. The medieval Spanish Rabbi Aharon Halevi teaches that the commandment to return lost property is fundamental and that all society depends upon it. I mean, that's pretty big words, right? To say that just on that little thing, that's what all our society depends on. It's not just a matter of one person taking care of another's possessions or loving another. A society depends upon the faith people place in one another, Halevi teaches. When I show empathy for another person, in particularly to the stranger, I do so trusting that others will do the same with me. Without people feeling that they can rely upon one another, society collapses into suspicion, selfishness, and bitter contention. And this is not only a commentary on this week's news, all right, but it is. Returning lost property shows empathy and builds community. So the many mitzvot contained in this week's Torah portion, we are taught about the importance of building trust with our neighbors, both friends and strangers, something we desperately need in our nation. If this past week has shown us anything, is that we are a country deeply divided, a country almost living in two separate realities. Watching parts of the first Republican debate, I was dismayed that some of the candidates who got the biggest applause espoused the most extremist, uncompromising ideas, including some dubious conspiracy theories thrown here and there. We live in a ruby red part of the country, no news to anybody here, meaning that for more than half the people that we will meet in public spaces here in the metro, for our neighbors, these are the people they think could be our next president. I am aware that the candidates do not speak for all Republicans, but the most popular opinions among the candidates seem to drive Americans further and further apart. I fail to see how they are willing to show empathy towards the other half of us. How could some of us who are not white male evangelicals feel when they are in power? Will they show compassion and empathy towards us if they, again, regain power? In addressing the mitzvah of returning lost property, the great Nachmanides puts it this way, quote, assist others, remember the bond of humanity between you, and forget the hatred, end quote. My sense is that as a country, we have lost some of our most treasured ideals: fairness, compassion, and empathy towards the stranger, the others, the immigrants, the trans community. Call them Judeo-Christian values or religious values, it does not matter. Someone who says that he or she is religious cannot, in the same breath, suggest that we treat some people with any less dignity or respect than others. No matter how you slice it, that is divisive and will not make us a better, healthier, and happier society. Not all hope is lost, I hope. If the month of Elul teaches us anything, is that human beings can change. There is a way for us to find how to go back to basics, to the true meaning of religious and spiritual values. When a neighbor would return your lost animals, when neighbor would check on neighbor if we lose power, when neighborly values were the norm, when we could disagree with each other and still feel a sense of a common good. when we could still feel empathy towards the other half, really, that does not agree with us. I pray that as individuals and as a nation, we all look inside and recognize our common humanity and our need to feel empathy and compassion for us all. Have a Shabbat Shalom, everybody. We gather back on the Bima. We invite you to go back to our prayer book, to our Siddur on page 78. And if you're able, please stand and join us for Aleinu L'Shabeach.
Aleinu l'shabeach l'Adon hakol, לתת גדולה ליוצא בראשית, שלא עשנו כגויי הארצות, ולא שמנו כמשפחות האדמה, שלא שם חלקנו כהם, וגורלנו ככל המונם, ואנחנו קוראים ומשתחווים ומודים לפני מלך מלכי המלכים הקדוש ברוך הוא. ונאמר והיה אדוני למלך על כל הארץ, ביום ההוא יהיה אדוני אחד, ושמו אחד.
As we prepare for our moment of remembrance, I invite you to turn to page 85. Oh, I'm sorry, 81? 85, please, yes. I don't have page 81.
They have all of the pages.
Oh, thank you so much. Our thoughts turn now to our loved ones whom death has taken from us in recent days, and those who died in this season in years past. Our hearts open as well to the wider circles of loss in our community and wherever grief touches the human family. Zichronam livracha, may the memories be for a blessing. We are observing the Shloshim period for Jerome Walters, grandfather of Caleb Walters, Orrin Nelson Mitchell, father of Gloria Pittler, and Foster Padway, uncle of Brenda Kowski-Knolman. And on this Shabbat, we remember the following yortzites of members of our congregation: Jeannie Bellotti, Jack Belmont, Isla Tootie Brown, Faye Ginson, Gilbert Greenwald, Ruth Katz, Ira Kirsch, David Kapperman, Maureen Kapperman, Chester Lampert, Minda Naomi Levy, Ray Lewis, Rolf Matzdorf, Audrey Milgram Klein Bear, Edith Parkins, Jack M. Razavsky, Raymond Rittmaster, Maya Rosentrader, Nathan Saltz, Jason Kip Weiner, Edith White, Salvatore Zapula. Zichronam livracha, may the memories be for a blessing. Page 86, we invite you to join us, if you're able, rise for Kaddish Yatom, the mourner's Kaddish. And remember, this version has one extra line towards the end. Yitgadal ve'yitkadash shemei rabba, be'alma divra chirute ve'yamlich malchute, bechayechon u'vyamechon u'bechayei dechol beit Israel, ba'agala u'bizman karev v'imru amen. Yehei shemei rabba mevarach lelam u'lelamei alemaya, יתברך ויתפאר ויתרומם ויתנשא ויתהדר ויתעלה ויתהלל שמי דקודשה בריחו לעילה מן כל ברכתה ושירתה תושבחתה ונחמתה דאמירן בלמה ואמרו אמן. יהי שלמה רבה מן שמיה, וחיים עלינו ועל כל ישראל ואמרו אמן. עושה שלום במרומיו, הוא יעשה שלום עלינו ועל כל ישראל ועל כל יושבי תבל, ואמרו אמן. Maybe see.
עושה שלום במרומיו, הוא יעשה שלום עלינו ועל כל ישראל, ואמרו
Time for some announcements. Thank you to Leslie, Howard, and Warren, and to our technical team. And thank you to Sharon and Jeff Altman for sponsoring tonight's oneg in honor of Marion Altman's 95th birthday. Again, happy birthday, Marion.
This is our last summer scheduled Shabbat. Our campus is closed tomorrow and on Sunday. Our next Shabbat service will be Friday, September 1st, when we welcome Sonia Warshawski of Big Sonia Renown. She will join us for services and then for a nosh and dessert oneg.
The community service for spiritual renewal is this Sunday, August 27th at 2 p.m. at Villa Shalom, and our very own Leslie Zucker will participate in a leading role. But we ask you to please RSVP if you plan to attend. And where do you go for RSVP?
Well, you go to that QR code right there.
Love it.
You could go to the JFS website. It's on the tables out there. It's on our slide deck. It's all kinds of places. Do you have teens who want to learn more about Israel? Tell them about the Israeli Kickoff Bash on Wednesday, September 6th. The RSVP information is on the slide and on the slide deck in the Ulam. And if you have questions, you may reach out to Morgan Fassbinder.
September Shabbatot are looking pretty exciting, my friends. After Big Sonia, we will recognize Barb Mendelson as our Mensch of the Month on September the 8th. This is then September 15th.
Erev Rosh Hashanah.
And then Shabbat Shuvah, and then Erev Sukkot picnic and worship, and Erev Simchat Torah. They're all on Friday night, so no excuses to know, I only go to synagogue on Friday. Well, there you go. You'll be here on good time.
Oh, and there's so much more going on. We encourage you to participate in your CBT community activities. As you can see, it took 2 slides to just hit the highlights for September, and we encourage you to participate with us.
Immediately after our closing song and a couple of things that we do, because we'll hear the shofar, we will join in the ulam for Kiddush and Amotzi. But until then, if you're able, please stand and join us as we sing together, Olam Chesed Ibaneh. Yadadai, yadai, yadadai, breath of life we share with all the creatures of earth, pass through the horn of this animal with the hope that we can transcend the animal within us. Baruch atah Adonai, shomea teruah. Blessed are you, Adonai, who hears the sound of the shofar. Tekiah, shvarim teruah. Tekiah. Shabbat Shalom, everybody.
Shabbat Shalom. Take care of each other out there.